Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing our Bible reading. Same Bible kind from all the different ones. We're starting on page 8. It's Genesis chapter 10, verses 1 through 32. It's all of chapter 10 today, so we're in for a longer story. This is called Nations Descended from Noah. These are the descendants of Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Children were born to them after the flood. The descendants of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshesh, and Tyrus. The descendants of Gomer: Ashkenaz, Rephath, and Gomermar. The descendants of Havan: Elash, Tarnish, Kiddiam, and Rodamim. From these the coastland people spread. These are the descendants of Japheth in their lands, with their own language, by their families and their nations. The descendants of Ham: Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush: Seba, Havilah, Sabata, Rahama, and Sabateka. The descendants of Ramaha: Sheba and Dekan. Cush became the father of Nimrod. He was the first on earth to become a mighty warrior. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, and Akkad, all from them in the land of Shahar. From that land he went into Assyria and built Neviah, Rehoboth, Calah, and Rezin. Between Neviah and Calah, this is the great city. Egypt became the father of Ludim, Anaim, Lehabam, Nubataham, Pathraseum, Coliseum, and Kabatorium, from which the Philistines came. Canaan became the father of Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Sinites, the Arvadites, the Zemrites, and the Hamathites. Afterward, the families of the Canaanites spread abroad, and the territory in the Canaanites extended from Sidon in the direction of Gahar as far as Gaza, and in the direction of Sodom, Gomorrah, Aham, and Sobam as far as Lasha. These are the descendants of Ham, by their families, their languages, their lands, and their nations. To Shem, also the father of all the children of Eber, the elder brother of Japheth, children were born. The descendants of Shem: Elam, Asher, Aprashad, Lud, and Aram. The descendants of Aram: Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arpashad became the father of Shelah, and Shelah became the father of Eber. To Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan became the father of Almadad, Shibletah, and Hazarmrath. Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Dilakan, Obal, Abiamal, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jacob. All these were the descendants of Joktan. The territory in which they lived extended from Mesha in the direction of Sephir, the hill country of the east. These are the descendants of Shem, by their families, their languages, their lands, and their nations. These are the families of Noah's sons, according to their genealogies and their nations. And from these the nations spread abroad on the earth after the flood. So, that was a lot of names and families and people. So basically this whole chapter, chapter 10, is talking about Noah's sons and Noah's sons' sons and sons and so forth. This basically tells us how they repopulated the earth with all these people. And it took me a minute to realize, but like when it says like the name of their family is like Canaanites or Shavanites or Amorites or whatever it was like the father's name with ites, and that was their family name, which is like interesting to think that father was the kind of the ruler of their whole family, so his name was their family, and that was what they were, with their own names of course, but like that's how they were seen as, which I think is interesting because now it's like your last name is how your family is, but now it's like the first name. But maybe that was kind of considered the last name, I think, in my mind, how I'm envisioning it. But that was a lot of names, and I probably butchered a lot of them, but that's okay because we're understanding and reading more as we go, and we'll get used to it, and it'll be great. Let me know what you guys thought of this, and also one more thing, how they said basically all of them had a lot of children, and like thinking about that on a historical term, that back in those days they didn't have any of like medicine or any ways to like cure themselves, and also childbirth was painful, as we saw. Like that's what God gave the woman. Childbirth was going to be painful, and so they didn't have any like drugs or medicine to help them with that pain. So probably some of the moms died in childbirth, and probably some of the babies did as well in certain situations because of that. No medicine, no really way to help. They had herbs and stuff that they probably figured out how to use, but that's just another thing to think about as the reason why they were having lots and lots of kids, and hope that more would survive, because a few were going to die early on anyway, but hopefully more survived. But this was great to think about and just look at all the things. And tomorrow we will start chapter 11, the Tower of Babel. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.